an easy interview in that, like, just your first answer gave me a lot of other questions I was going to ask you. So here's an interesting one. What's your superpower in consulting? What sets you apart?
My superpower is the ability to get intensely present and deeply connecting with my client.
Intensely present and deeply connecting.
Yes.
And how do you do that?
Lots and lots of practice. You looking for like a bulleted list? What are the steps of getting deeply connected?
Well, tell me what you want to tell me.
Sure. Well, it is truly a superpower. And I say this honestly, it's sort of like asking Yoda how he does it. It takes a lot of work. It takes an intense understanding of how your brain works and how your body and brain are connected. And then ultimately realizing that there actually is no difference between your body and your brain. The connection, the distinction between those things is man-made. Your body and your brain and your feet and your digestive system are all part of you. And you need to understand when your body is telling you something, it's a reaction to something your brain is doing. And so when you feel a stress inducement or a compulsion to speak, before you do it, you need to become what Eckhart Tolle says, the watcher of your thoughts. You need to sit above your thoughts. And the greatest indicator when your thoughts are leading you to speak compulsively or to block you from connection, the greatest indicator is how your body is reacting to it. So sometimes it's a feeling, a pit in your stomach. For some, it's stress in the chest. Some people feel it in different places. But when you feel it, the truth comes from your body and your mind tries to trick you. So you have to learn to be the watcher of your thoughts. Let your thoughts come and go like ripples on a pond, Shunryu Suzuki. And it is a state of, some people call it Zenness. Some people meditate for it. It's basically being able to recognize that you watch your thoughts and that your thoughts can be damaging and you should put them away and get intensely present and deeply connect to the person you're speaking with so that you can pick up on the cues of them not watching their thoughts. And those are the spots where you have to play the long game, collect the dots in a longer line, and don't react to each data point. And so there's a piece of presence, patience, and also just deciding that I'm going to be intensely present right now and do it. So that probably sounds weird, but you can read Eckhart Tolle, Shunryu Suzuki, any number of great sources on how to do it. And then you have to start doing it. And then you have to become your own coach. You have to be able to recognize that you have these same programs that you run too, and how they manifest and how you speak and act and engage with people. And then you're able to recognize it in others without drawing their attention to their own lack of presence.
It's deep. I wrote a lot. It's funny. A couple of these spoilers I want to come back to because there might be some connections to some things that I ask you later.
Cool.
I already wrote down, don't react to each data point. That's sticky for me.
Yeah. And the trick there for me is that often we are so programmed to provide value instantly that we get something, we realize it, and we want to feed back. And Heisenberg principle, you cannot measure something without changing it. You want to change it as little as possible. That goes through from a stoic face, a neutral body position. I mean, even micro expressions like a slight raise of the eyebrow when someone says something shocking can change the way that they say something. You know, in general, especially if someone hires you for high dollars, I charge thousands per month for only a couple of hours per person. And so they want to impress me. And I have to be ready to not sink into that honeypot because we're all prideful humans. And so I have to be stoic and be very mindful. The slightest micro expression change, a slight tip of the head, a slight tick of the mouth can change what they're going to say next. And so to listen deeply and connect deeply and try to affect the conversation as little as possible so that they can get down into what really matters. And I said it earlier, we want to get that data point and then feedback, get the next data point and feedback because we feel like that's efficient. What Covey said, interactions between humans are not supposed to be efficient. They're supposed to be effective. And so what you need to do is gather all of those points and form a line and see what this is really about and resist both the reaction to speak. And sometimes it's just because we don't want to forget. Oh shit, I don't want to forget this. And so there's the level of just developing your memory for it. Anyway, is that what you do?
No, like, yeah, if like I learned this one a couple of years ago. If there's something I know I wanted to say at some point, but I don't want to interrupt, you just do that.
Yes. And it's funny. Where did you learn that?
Erin, my wife.
Very good. I've seen lots of people who do that. And I'll tell you, that's a great skill. I do it similarly. I go like this with my fingers. Yeah. And what I've realized is that actually does come back to a level of connection, sort of connecting and closing an energy loop through your body. There's a lot of value in doing that. You close your fingers together, it completes a kind of an energy cycle, and it helps you resist that physical urge. So however, whatever the reason behind it is, I've seen lots of people do that, and that's a technique I use as well.
Yeah. And yet, ironically, I did interrupt you by sharing that point of how to not interrupt.
Noted.
Noted. So awesome. This is high value.